In the summer of 223, the Senate's power of appraisal was enshrined, granting the power to investigate new projects and opportunities for the Concordian treasury to be spent towards the needs of the people. With the ability to appraise 2 projects at a time, the Senate dispatched civil service assessors to Andash and Bordavar to pursue projects of economic merit. The results of those assessments provide unique options for the Senate to pursue in the coming season. It is the opinion of the civil service that these estimates would remain accurate throughout the remainder of the year, but would require reappraisal in 225. The Senate is welcome to commission any or none of the following options. A panacea for the poison. Appraise the cost of a large-scale herb garden in Wayland that could be used to supply the Passage Field Hospital with herbs. Under the warm Wayland sun, herb tenders and alchemists discussed the matter of medical supplies with representatives from the civil service. Amidst the backdrop of war and invasion, tense conversations were held over the purchase of land, appropriate climate, and soil quality. By the time the weather began to cool, 3 opportunities were prepared for the Senate by 3 separate agents in 3 separate duchies. Dredge Richten's Tier. Arlito Van Apulian suggests that the small island of Richten's Tier within the Eisen River be expanded and fed with soil, ballasted by Thunder Oak. The island is already well known for its supply of crystal mana and herbs throughout its unique Enchanter's Ferns, proving its soil quality. If significant works were undertaken, the island could be expanded. This commission would grant the field hospital a supply of crystal mana as well as herbs. This will cost 5 Thunder Oak and 5 vaults, with the construction duration being 1 season and its location being Richten's Tier in Duchy Evergard. The expected production for this winter summit is 10 of all herbs, and the expected production come summer summit is 10 crystal mana and 6 of all herbs. The construction of this would also remove the title Groundskeeper of Richten's Tier, as the responsibilities would be handed over to the head surgeon of the Passage Field Hospital. Given the contested nature of Richten's Tier, this commission could not be begun unless the Senator of Wayland and the Baron of Risinderholtz agree to it. The second is to rebuild the Royal Winter Gardens. Werendal of Heartsgrave has discussed the matter of the hospital's need with Sir Victorius the Younger, Grand Master of the Order of the Hallowed Word, the honoured knights who occupy the manor and protect the corpse of King Artorius Bordavar. On the grounds of the manor are the ruins of the old Royal Winter Gardens, once a beautiful grove of flowers fed and warmed year-round through sunken hot springs, providing a verdant escape for the late king. The gardens are of little use now to the knights who reside there and have since fallen into considerable disrepair. Rebuilding the winter gardens would be somewhat expensive, but would produce fine herbs year-round and would be a beautiful sight to behold for the people of Heartsgrave. The cost to do this is 10 Arkstone and 15 vaults, with the construction duration being 2 seasons, and location is the manor in Duchy Heartsgrave. The expected production would be 15 of all herbs each season, as well as a small taxation surplus, and because of the nature of the Royal Winter Gardens insulating the supply from meddling, it will make it immune to effects that would damage herb garden production in Heartsgrave, Wayland, or the Concord as a whole. Another is to clear the feral fields. Horvend of Passage has drawn up plans to develop a vast stretch of abandoned farmland that lies between Elate's Line and the Lenscaster Hills, just south of the Strand. This stretch of farmland is a stretch of feral field, denoting ruined agricultural land once belonging to the Endmani people. Thought to be haunted, the region has been unworked for generations, but presents a good farming land that could be fit for purpose. Establishing the farm would not be swift, but would be cheaper than comparable projects, although it would be more prone to effects by weather and misfortune. The cost to do this would be 7 vaults and 15 locks, and the duration would be 2 seasons, and located in Duchy Starsgar, south of the Strand. The expected production from this is between 8 and 12 of each herb each season, dependent on larger matters afoot in Wayland, as well as a small taxation surplus. Sunblessed Coin. appraise the cost of a market outpost in the tribe lands to act as a meeting point for the nomads of the region, giving them a place to trade and gather. Between the continuing presence of the Almai, the wealth of the powerful nomad clans, and the recovery of the tribe lands following Zecatile predation, the civil service was not surprised to receive an appraisal for the land of sun and sand. A recent appointment to the civil service, Oscar del Panoply Alvasquez El Civicello, once delegate between the Obregon City Council and the heroic delegation, has spent the baking summer speaking with local leaders and architects to present 3 options to the Senate for the Winter Summit. La Escudo Plaza. A restrained version of a previous submission to the heroic delegation, La Escudo Plaza would be a set of paved plazas, wells and cleared campsites spread around Obregon, particularly on the northeastern side where the bulk of the city could protect the site from the harsh desert winds. The plaza would provide an ideal location for the nomadic clans to rest, resupply, and meet with city officials and merchants. This would be a boon for both the city and the nomads, but is a lesser image than Oscar's original plans. Able to support 1,000 nomads at a time, likely making campsites at the plaza a competitive commodity. The cost to build this is 4 arkstone and 7 vaults, with the construction taking 1 season, and located in Obregon, the tribelands. We can expect a moderate taxation surplus, depending on the volume of trade within the region. In addition to the nomad clans of the tribelands, would provide a small surplus of resources to the senator of the tribelands each summit as part of their tithe. The surplus of resources is expected to be about 10 of a mixture of common resources in the area. La Barrera Hafez. As a nomadic people, the Andashi rarely had need for fortifications. You could always simply journey away from danger. But in the dangerous world of the Concord, this may have to change. Mixing the meeting and trading place with a defensible redoubt in the rocky scrub valleys of the True Wilds would provide the nomadic people a defensible holdout should the worst come to worst, while also lessening the tide of refugees that would flock to Obregon. Oscar located a bowl valley in the northwest of the True Wilds, 3 days' travel from Abquala, that could be fortified, while the bowl itself could be fitted with wells and cleared of underbrush. This site would be secluded, defensible, and comfortable enough. Of course, being in the True Wilds, it is distant from much of the region, lessening its usefulness as an income for the Concord. The cost to build this would be 3 arkstone, 3 thunder oak, and 10 vaults, with the construction duration being 1 season, and its location in the True Wilds in the tribelands. Its expected production is a small amount of taxation surplus, with much of the benefit being absorbed into its maintenance. Although, in the circumstance that the tribelands is attacked, La Barrera Hafez would heavily reduce casualties among the region's non-combatic nomadic population, provided that La Barrera Hafez was not targeted specifically. Control over La Barrera Hafez would fall to the champion of the tribes. La Banda Ponta. For many nomads, the lines that separate Mukrem and the tribelands are arbitrary. They travel to the grassy plains in the southwest to raise cattle before travelling northeast to sell them at the bazaar in Obregon. Any trade enterprise would do well to expand on this route, a fact not lost on Oscar. The proposed La Banda Ponta would support the construction of a settlement on the Salt Road straddling the border between Mukrem and the tribelands. With the tavern, storehouses and wells to support a growing settlement, provided trade and travel between Mukrem and the tribelands was strong, it is likely such a settlement would prosper. However, the location would be tempting prey for any raider looking to pillage the tribelands, presenting a lot of risk for the Concord's reward. The cost would be 12 vaults, with the construction duration being 12 seasons, and the location on the Salt Road in the tribelands. The expected production from this is a moderate amount of taxation surplus, depending on the level of trade within the region. In addition, this construction will create the title, the Master of the Banda Caravanserai. This title will be able to sell artisan crafts and herbs to La Banda Ponta through the exchange for set prices, which will vary each summit depending on market forces. That concludes my reading of The Weight of Worth. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you next time.